Good morning, America. This is Irene Armendariz Jackson in El Paso, Texas, and I'm here to say, Kamala, you came a little too late. We have had this crisis for years. We need solutions. We don't need you parading in the Border Patrol station or acting like you care. Americans matter. America matters. God bless you, America.
All right, guys. So as you can see, that is the Hispanic community down there giving Kamala a warm welcome at the border in El Paso. And guys, I'm gonna tell you, it seems like the Hispanic community, they ride heavy for Trump, right? They ride heavy, okay? Not just in Texas, but also apparently in South America too. They go hard for Trump, right? I wonder why. Because, you know, if you listen to the Democrats, they make it seem like all Hispanics, or most Hispanics, they, you know, they don't like Trump, okay? Because Trump is a racist, okay? Allegedly, according to Democrats. Trump says bad things about Hispanics. So it's just surprising to me to see all the support, not just in America, but also internationally. Kind of crazy. And it seems like Kamala here is really getting a lot of criticism from a lot of different places, because even some former Border Patrol agents have come out and said, hey, you know, Democrats don't seem like they really want to solve this issue. Because even though the vice president is visiting the border, El Paso is not really where the problem is.
Chief Enosa, how does this affect you? I know you are with the Rio Grande Valley sector, and you say this is the biggest need, yet she's going to El Paso.
Well, you know, it's interesting that it almost took 100 days for the vice president to make it to the border, but she's showing up at the wrong address, like Representative Henry Cuellar said, who's a good partner for the Border Patrol and DHS as a whole down here. You know, it's interesting that many years ago, both parties were interested in securing our border and protecting our border. And now it seems like the only party that has any interest in trying to do something down here is the Republican Party. Not to get political, but when you've got Henry Cuellar as an outlier in the Democrat Party, when he used to be a common voice in the Democrat Party, you can see why there's no solution down here in sight as long as we have this administration taking these actions.
So, yeah, I mean, Kamala just seems like she just can't win, okay? But regardless, she went today. And when she got off the plane, she did not disappoint when faced with tough questions.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to El Paso. Welcome to my community, to the new Ellis Island, to the capital of the border. I am standing before you with a heart full of gratitude. Madam Vice President, thank you for being here. So grateful to Secretary Mayorkas, to Chairman Durbin, and to all of you for making the journey.
Vice President, how did you decide that right now was the right time to make your first trip to the border?
Well, it's not my first trip. I've been to the border many times.
As the person in charge of the response.
So, the important aspect of this visit is leading this visit after the work that we did in Guatemala and Mexico. Because as I've long said, I said back in March I was going to come to the border, so this is not a new plan. But the reality of it is that we have to deal with causes and we have to deal with the effects. So being in Guatemala, being in Mexico, talking with Mexico as a partner, frankly, on the issue, was about addressing the causes, and then coming to the border at the advice and actually the invitation of the Congresswoman is about looking at the effects of what we have seen happening in Central America. And so I'm glad to be here. It was always the plan to come here. And I think we're going to have a good and productive day.
What was your Title 42 be repealed now?
But why did you think now was the time?
All right, so Kamala, you can tell, bro, she does not like this. She does not like talking about this border thing. She does not like it. First of all, she tries to say, well, I said I was coming in March. You know, I really don't know if Kamala said that she was coming in March, that she was going to go. She probably did in an offhand comment, right, to try to put it off. But everybody knows that the only reason you came is because you wanted to beat Trump here. You could not have Trump show up to the border before you did, okay? Trump made you come. Trump forced you to come. It's super obvious. Everybody knows. That's why they have to go out of their way to try to make it look like, well, you know, this Democrat right here she advised me to come and this person advised me to come. And, you know, I was coming the whole time. It's just my Democrat colleagues urged me to do it. BS, man. BS. Okay? It's BS. We all know why you're there, right? You're there because of Trump. And I'm telling you guys, I think that Trump is in Kamala's head. I really do. I really do think that he's low-key living in her head rent-free. She also said that she had been to the border before. Oh, I've been here before. I visited here before. And she says that to try to make it seem like her trip to the border is insignificant. As if like, okay, her coming is just like, oh, whatever, right? She's talking about her visiting the border. But the ironic part about this is that what she's talking about is her visit to the border when she was in the Senate, right? When she was in the Senate. At the same time, when she had no problems doing it, when she thought it was so important under Trump, right? When Trump had his situation at the border under his administration, the Democrats thought it was the worst thing ever, right? Thought it was the worst thing ever. So they ran to the border because, again, this is optics. This is how politicians play games, right? And Kamala is continuing to play word games because she knows that this is a really bad look for her. The fact that it's been about, 100 days now, and she's just getting down there, right? She knows it's a bad look. So in her official little press conference here with her actually, you know, talking about the situation at the border, of course, she blames Trump. Take a look.
Our administration, it is important to be clear, is working to build a fair and a functional and a humane immigration system. We feel very strongly about that. And as you know, we inherited a tough situation. In fact, right here in El Paso was the launch of the child separation policy. You saw it as it rolled out on the ground in real time. We have looked at a system where people have been housed in inhumane conditions over the last many years. An asylum system that has been broken and that needs to be reconstructed. And in 5 months, we've made progress, but there's still much more work to be done. But we've made progress.
All right, guys. So Kamala is blaming Trump, using the whole line of, we inherited a bad situation, yada, yada, yada. You did not inherit a border crisis, Kamala. Stop lying. Why is everything that you say a lie? I feel like I can't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. Can't believe it. You did not inherit a border crisis. Guys, we literally have a timeline. After the election, right? What happened was that these immigrants basically started coming, right? Right after the election. And before Biden was inaugurated, we saw caravans of illegal immigrants literally coming to the United States. Caravans wearing Biden Kamala shirts, Biden shirts. We saw it. This is what bothers me about Democrats. They think people stupid. They want to keep blaming Trump for a problem that they obviously created. Or put it this way, they obviously made it worse. They made it worse. But yet you continue to blame Trump and deflect blame from the fact that you're doing a piss poor job on this assignment. You're doing a piss poor job. You prioritize everything else, including pride parades, over the border crisis. You prioritize everything else. And Biden has put you at the back seat, Kamala. Biden has threw you under the bus. You might want to blame him because he's the one, when he was running for president, okay, when he was debating Trump, he was the one telling people to come to the border, right? So you might want to start blaming him. How long is Kamala going to let Biden throw her under the bus and she just going to take it? Because the world knows that you're frustrated, Kamala. Everybody can see it on your face. You got a terrible poker face. I would love to gamble with Kamala. I would take all her money, right? Because she is the easiest person to read. But instead of blaming the guy whose fault it actually is, which is, again, Joe Biden, you want to blame Trump. Because like I said, Trump is living in her head rent-free. Because, guys, remember, for the longest time, it wasn't a crisis. They were ignoring it. It wasn't a problem. Now when she gets there and she has to acknowledge it, Oh, we inherited a bad situation. We inherited a bad situation. Okay, which one is it? Is it a crisis or is it not? Because if you inherited a bad situation, if you inherited a crisis, then you're acknowledging that it's a crisis. You can't sit here and say it's not a crisis when you don't want to deal with it, right? Come on, you can't have it both ways. Democrats love that. They love trying to have it both ways, right? They want to say it's a crisis when it's convenient for them, when it's happening under Trump. Which, by the way, again, we have record numbers of people coming to the border under Biden. I mean, any objective person that's living reality can tell you that the crisis right now under Biden is way worse than what was going on under Trump. And the reason why is because the Democrats told them to come. This is a crisis created by the Democrats. And they can't walk it back because they did that to appeal to their progressive base. That's what happened. That's what happened. They can't walk it back. They've been hesitant to tell people not to come, even though Kamala did it. She said, don't come. And guess what? When she did, AOC marched out there and hit her on it. You can't say that, right? So Democrats really in a no-win situation when it comes to this border thing. And, because of that, they're going to keep blaming Trump. And it'll be interesting to see what happens after this. Like, what is the actual follow-up? Like, what is the Republican move after this, right? What are Republicans actually going to do? Because at this point, they can't keep telling her to go to the border because she's technically been now. Okay, so, but we do know that Democrats aren't going to do anything about this problem. They're not going to re-implement Trump's policies. So what actually is going to happen after this? Like, what is the next step? Because ultimately, for as much as everybody wants her to go to the border, she's there. And now after she's there, the main question is, okay, what now? Because it's still a crisis. So who knows? But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.